Closing out the action for the first day of the first round of the 2020 BNL Karting Series season is Senior Rotax once more. This time it is Groups A and D for the sixth and final heat with 9 minutes plus an additional lap set on the timer. Here is your grid for this race. So on the front row it is Lewis Gilbert and Lachlan Robinson representing Great Britain and also the UAE. Ilyan Brunsils and Dylan Lahaye representing Belgium on row number 2, with Mike van Vliet from the Netherlands and Luca Leistra from Belgium. Vincent France from Germany and Maurice Schuring round out the top 8 positions. Ahead of France's Andreas Hebel and Great Britain's Bradley Barrett completing the top 10. Then it's the 335 of Spain's Manel Galofretona, Victor Plateau from Belgium in the 350, Anthony Boulou in the 385 from France, ahead of the Netherlands' very own Emily de Hoys in the 373. Then it's Alexander Bentley from Great Britain in the 308, ahead of Harley Horton in the 325, also from Great Britain. Sam Van Til from the Netherlands in the 380, ahead of Kian Sang from Great Britain in the 338. The 323 of Flint Schuring from the Netherlands. Also Scott Westhovens from the Netherlands in the 330, rounding out the top 20. And the starting order completed by the 3 following drivers. 2 representing the Netherlands in the form of Jordi van der Eyck in the 390. You've then got Remco Baan and Drake Jansen. Looks like Ben Burgess is showing in 24th position. I might have got my grids mixed up a bit there, but obviously you can see the graphics on your screen. But now we are set for one more race before we close things out for the rest of the evening, where everyone can get themselves ready for tomorrow, myself included, and also spend some time relaxing with friends that we haven't seen in a while. Red lights ignited on the starting gantry for one final time here on Saturday, the 1st of August, 2020, the day that the BNL Karting Series really got its 13th season well and truly underway here at the home of champions. We had sunshine all the way through. Let's see what happens in this race as Gilbert and Robinson alongside each other on the front row. They come into the tram lines. Red lights are out and we are off and away for one final time here at the home of champions, and it's a great start from Gilbert as he gets bumped from behind. Looks like Brunsils trying to force the issue. Oh, he spun! Oh, Brunsils has had a moment of gargantuan proportions that has tumbled him down right to the back order of the field, who's bumping into the back bumper of Lewis Gilbert, and that spat him out 180 degrees the wrong way, and he now has a humongous mountain to climb. But in the meantime, that has given Lewis Gilbert the opportunity that he needed. Lachlan Robinson looks to be down in P6 as a result of that, because Brunsils was trying to force a gap and go up the inside of Robinson, but it didn't quite work out for the Belgian. So now they're going to come through into turn 11. So Gilbert leads, and it is the 376 of Mike van Vliet has done it again. Oh my goodness, He's like a magician that can pull a rabbit out of the hat at any particular moment, let alone doing it in Junior Rotax. He's done that in Senior Rotax now as well. But Vincent France is not letting him go. The pair are side by side. And that is Vincent France up the inside of Mike van Vliet for P2. Oh my goodness me. Bradley Barrett, in the meantime, looks to be in P5 at the moment. So I think he's just had Andreas Hebel just pass him. But that has put everyone, I mean, the thing is that now as a result of that, and there is one very forlorn driver. Now there was a driver there that's just come through on turn 6 that has just been off on the grass. I think that might have been, that's the 314, and that is of Maurice Schuring. So Maurice Schuring, as now this has really changed everything, and as a result of this, Lachlan Robinson has been compromised significantly by the methodology, and Robinson has parked it. He's brought it into the pit, so Lachlan Robinson will not take any further part in what could have been a really, really good race for him. And you know, he's come all the way over from the UAE. I can understand that the drivers have been chomping at the bit, but then there are times when sometimes being a bit too overzealous can put yourself and other people into a compromising situation that no one really wants to either be an unwilling participant of, and being the person that accidentally instigates it. Because everyone that goes into a race with the best intentions, but it doesn't always pan out as you possibly might see it happening. So this has now changed everything because Lewis Gilbert leads. Vincent France from Germany in second. Mike Van Voosh from the Netherlands in third. Andreas Herbert from France and Bradley Barrett now complete the top 5. Manel Galofretona in his highest position so far, the Spaniard, up into P6. Sem Van Til, P7. Victor Plateau, Emily de Hoys. Well, Victor Plateau has just got past Sem Van Til as I say that, up into 7th position. Emily de Hoys and Alexander Bentley round out the top 10. Then it's Luca Leistra. Now, Leistra started P6. And as a result of that carambolage, it sent carts everywhere. I'm going to be looking back at the races a little bit later on just to sort of get a slow-mo perspective. Because sometimes when an accident like that happens, even us as commentators have a difficulty in trying to see how we can break that all down. So, yeah, so Drake Jansen, unfortunately, I think is out. Lachlan Robinson, sorry to his dad over in the UAE. I keep on getting Lachlan's name wrong. I will make sure that it will keep on the right side of things all the way through the weekend, but that's a real shame for the driver for the UAE that has competed in the grand finals before. He's also won championships in the UAE. So top 7 as they were. Top 8 now becomes Emily de Hoys and Luca Leistra now in 8th and 9th respectively. Kian Sang now up into 10th as Sem Van Til drops down into 11th position. Dylan LaHaye, now LaHaye started 4th and he was another one that was compromised as a result of that incident. So multiple drivers out of position and we have just over half the race to go. We'll actually make that 4 minutes and 40 plus an additional lap. But in the meantime, this is going to really, really sit well because I'm sure that someone's smile will be glinting like a dull-ride diamond underneath that race helmet, Lewis Gilbert, and I'm sure that's happening with his mum Jennifer back at home in the minute. A nice little move up the inside there. That was one of the GKS carts. As there's a bit more argy-bargy. I think the 390 of Jordi van der Eyck just got passed up the inside through into the final corner. So Jordi, that was, so Ilian Brunsils now back up into 17th position. So the person that has been compromised the most after that exchange was Lachlan Robinson. I really, really feel for that guy because he's come a long way in order to come and compete with us. But I'm sure that tomorrow he'll calmly look at it, he'll have a think about what's happened and go, actually, I haven't come this far to give up. And come back, he will come back with a vengeance tomorrow. Mark my words, tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, we will see a driver that has the potential of winning this weekend. Out of many drivers, but Lewis Gilbert now has a 1.6 second advantage over Mike Van Voosh, who's now repassed Vincent France for P2. As now Manel Galofretona has dropped down the order to P10. So Van Voosh leading way in he's leading the rest of the field in second. He's 1.562 seconds behind Lewis Gilbert. He's just going on calmly about business. We're into the final third of this race and also the last 3 minutes plus an additional lap of this particular day. So at the moment we still have quite a few drivers moving up the order. Dylan LaHaye up to 12th. Anthony Boulou, who was in 13th, now up into, well, he's in 13th at the moment. There's Brad Barrett closing on Andreas Herbert. Now the Brit running as part of Sodi Vitesse. I know that some of their drivers are at the Motorsport UK Kart Masters British Kart Grand Prix, and that's a long mouthful. I had plenty of practice at that last year. Bradley talked to me this morning and he said, I missed out. He told me the reason why. I'm not going to go into details, but now he's decided to come over to Belgium and race with us, and I'm really glad to see him. I haven't seen him in a while, and every time I see him, I think he keeps on growing another inch on me, so I feel like Richard Hammond out of Top Gear, but what do I know? 2 minutes on the clock, plus an additional lap still remaining in this race as Victor Plateau loses out a place to Luca Leistra. And Emily de Hoys is about 6.5 tenths of a second off of Plateau. Looks like a better run for Emily de Hoys at the moment. So really good to see her fighting out there with everybody else. So just under 1 minute and 40, plus an additional lap of the racing day still to go. 6 races of heats for senior Rotax. And Lewis Gilbert puts in a 55.221. Luca Lystra on lap 8 puts in the fastest lap of the race, a 55.1 flat. Good going, young man, in the 372 representing Belgium. So at the moment, Gilbert leads, and you can now see that coming along with Bradley Barrett, and I just mentioned him, Luca Lystra. So this is the battle for what will be fourth on the road. Vincent France is keeping in touching distance, well, figuratively speaking, not literally speaking, to Mike Van Vugt, who's been doing a very good job, and he's been running consistently in a place that I was not quite expecting. But considering the caliber of him as a junior Rotax driver, he has made an initial good transition to senior Rotax, as we now will go on to the penultimate lap, and Gilbert has a lead of 1.6 seconds. Mike Van Vugt will have to watch his back bumper for the next lap and 2/3 to make sure that he has the opportunity to just keep a good second place. You know, he's had top threes this weekend so far. He was pretty quick in his qualifying group. He was P5 in that group, so he's done a very, very sterling job as the youngster. But Lewis Gilbert will will start coming out of turn 9 now, and the timer has expired. That is it. 9 minutes are up. We're almost at the checkered flag for the final time today after 16 races, 7 different 5-minute qualifying sessions, as Lewis Gilbert, the Doride Diamond, will take the final lap board well and truly, with sincerity as well, and he'll just come across the line. The gap between him and Mike Van Vugt now extends to nearly 1.9 seconds. And Van Vugt not quite out of the woods quite yet, but Luca Lystra has got past Bradley Barrett in the meantime, and now is up to P5. But Bradley Barrett, I know his steely British resolve, he will not give up without a fight, and he'll get into the toe of Lystra as now Gilbert comes through the right-hander at turn 8 as to second and third position. Line astern between Hebel, Lystra and Barrett, and now here comes Emily de Hoys. So de Hoys has been closing up on the trio ahead, as has Victor Plateau, and a great job by Kian Sang. So now, round through into the final corner, another victory beckons. What a job today by Lewis Gilbert, the Doride Diamond, the 329 from Potenza Racing Engines, takes another victory here at the BNL Karting Series Open round. Mike Van Vugt takes the second position. I know for a fact he's going to be smiling like the Cheshire Cat. Or I could say the Wogsum version of the Cheshire Cat there, but never mind. But Lewis Gilbert, that was an impressive run. Led from lights out to checkered flag. Finishing the race 2.047 seconds ahead of Van Vugt. Vincent France from Germany rounds out the top 3. And then when you look at it, Andreas Hebel and Luca Lystra make it 5 different nationalities in the top 5. Great Britain, the Netherlands, Germany, France and Belgium. Let's have a look at the rest of the finishing order. In 6th position, the 327 of Great Britain's Bradley Barrett, ahead of the Netherlands' Emily de Hoys in the 373. The 350 of Victor Plateau takes 8th place ahead of Kian Sang, with Manel Galofretona from Spain in the 335, rounding out the top 10. Dylan LaHaye would come back to finish 11th, ahead of Alexander Bentley from Great Britain. Anthony Boulou and the recovering Ilian Brunsils in the 369 in 14th. Scott Westholvens in 15th in the 330. Flint Schuring in the 323 was 16th ahead of Great Britain's Harley Horton. Sam Van Til, Jordi van der Eyck, Remco Baan, Drake Jansen, with Morris Schuring the last of the classified finishers, with Lachlan Robinson and Drake Jansen, unfortunately, well, Lachlan Robinson being the last of the drivers, but unfortunately on the very first lap, would pit to retire.